Hello, me again. Welcome to another exciting installment of La Théâtre de Phénix, and it is a pleasure to have you here, guys, gals, and non-binary pals. I hope you had a very happy Pride Festival, and what better way to celebrate the end of Pride than through the gayest medium known to man, theatre. With that in mind, in this week's installment of La Théâtre de Phénix, we head back to the courtroom for an exciting day's trial. A lot has happened. A brief recap. Lana Skye, chief prosecutor, has been accused of murder. Her younger sister, Emma Skye, is assisting Phénix in his investigation. They have since discovered that the murder victim, Bruce Goodman, was apparently killed in the evidence room of the police department, rather than in the car park of the prosecutor's office, which is impossible because the prosecutor's office is a half-an-hour drive away from the... There's a lot of things going on. And in the middle of all this, a police officer called Mike Meekins has been accused of doing the deed. So what will happen? I don't know. I mean, I do know. I've got the walkthrough, but it's more important for drama if I say that I don't know. With that in mind, take your seats, stop crinkling your sweets. We are going back to La Théâtre de Phénix, Rise from the Ashes. February 24th, 9:41 a.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby number 1.
After all?
Exactly. The victim was murdered in 2 different places at the same time. And a different suspect was arrested at the other crime scene. Lana! Good morning, Mr. Wright. I apologize for yesterday. I was indisposed.
I hope they didn't hold you too long for questioning.
We just finished, actually. I'm used to all-nighters, though.
What?
Right? So, how'd it go? It's as Mr. Wright suspects. The police are clueless.
Hey.
Get out of here. I figured as much, so I struck a plea bargain. A plea bargain? What do you mean by that? He agreed that if I told them the truth behind this simultaneous murder, they wouldn't seek capital punishment. That's what I mean, Emma. But Lana, don't tell me you... Much to my regret, I'm as much in the dark about this as they are.
Miss Skye? We discovered traces left by a certain person in the police department's evidence room. I said that terribly. Let's hopefully this paragraph will be better. They belonged to Officer Jake Marshall.
You found Officer Marshall's traces?
Phrasing.
Blood-stained fingerprints, to be exact.
Oh!
That's the trump card I have up my sleeve today. You do understand what this means, don't you?
In order to defend my sister, you're gonna accuse Mr. Marshall?
We have to play the cards we're dealt. Isn't that right, Ms. Skye?
She's got so much top energy.
Do what you have to, Mr. Wright.
I think our voice got deeper just then. Anyway. February 24th, 10 a.m. District Court. Courtroom number 9. Hey, everybody, it's fan favorite. Courtroom number 9!
I love this one. I love the air.
Oh, I love
We love this
courtroom number
country
9.
so much.
Unbelievable.
Court is now in session for the trial of Ms. Lana Sky.
The defence is ready, Your Honour.
The prosecution is...
I'm afraid you'll have to clarify.
It takes 30 minutes by car to reach criminal affairs from the prosecutor's office. The victim, Bruce Goodman, was slain at both places at the same time.
But that's not physically possible, is it? What's more, I hear the victim from the evidence room just disappeared.
Yeah, and the body eventually reappeared in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car.
If we could not mention that bit, that'd be great.
Wow. This is one messed up trial.
You're saying this now?
Out of the 4 I've done, yes.
One of my duties as prosecutor is to present impartial evidence. Today I will present evidence relating to the murder at the police department. In so doing, I believe the way in which we should proceed will reveal itself.
What a cute quirk. Now that's what sets Mr. Edgeworth apart. He sounds so on top of things.
Am I right?
You are.
Even though he doesn't know what's going on himself, and there was a corpse in his car.
That's basically praising with faint dams.
And that's supposed to be an admirable trait?
Very well. Let the trial resume, with nothing having been clarified. On the day of the crime, what exactly transpired at the police department? Mr. Edgeworth, you may call your first witness of the day to the stand.
Damn, I was going to call the second. All right. For its first witness, the prosecution calls the suspect of the murder that occurred at the police department.
The suspect? You mean the so-called murderer?
Oh my god, the twist
Don't
is
believe
there.
this now.
What if she murders someone again?
Oh, things are getting wild from the get-go.
Will the witness please state his name, occupation, and which Max Fleischer cartoon he was ripped out of?
Ooh-wee! Yes, sir. I am Officer Mike Meekins, sir. My occupation is, that would be murderer, sir.
The prosecution humbly requests that the witness take it down to a 7.
What?
Mm-hmm. So you're telling us you're a professional killer?
Sir, it was me, sir. I'm the one who did it. I'll never kill anyone again, sir. You've got to believe me, sir.
Actually, we'd like to...
Sir, I'm what you would call part of the younger generation, sir. A person whose actions adults can't possibly comprehend.
I'm literally acting as a lawyer over here.
Please, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Help me, sir.
Slam! Officer Meekins!
Yes, sir.
Give us your report of the crime. Consider that an order. Simon says give us a report of the crime.
Wink, wink. Yes, sir. As you wish. After all, I am part of a generation that must be told what to do, sir.
I can't tell if this is satire or not.
I think it's current affairs.
You can't fault him for a lack of enthusiasm, but he's giving my generation a lot of smack talk.
Although it's not my normal duty, I was assigned to guard the evidence room that day. I spotted a suspicious man on the security screen and rushed into the room. I was only doing what I was trained to do, sir. I was suddenly attacked. I fought for my life, but I did it. After that, I passed out until another officer smacked me away.
That was me, and I'd do it again.
Thanks, Troopy.
So the victim, Detective Goodman, attacked you.
Do unto others before they do unto you. As Jesus H. Christ said, that's the Meekins family model, sir.
I see. Then you fainted, and a colleague helped you regain consciousness.
Well, a colleague smacked him, and then the regained consciousness was just, happenstance.
Yes, sir. He knocked me upside the head, sir. An adjective I rarely use.
Very well. The defense may begin its cross-examination, and may I say good luck.
Strash, what I need here is more info to work with.
You're a lawyer.
How can I
Got a
get this
rucksack full of
information?
shit, Mr. Wright.
Christ, you're
Bring him
absolutely
something from the
right.
rucksack.
Crime
Virginia.
report, sir. Although it's not my normal duty, I was assigned to guard.
Hold it! Mr. Meekins, you work in the General Affairs Department, do you not?
Yes, sir.
Kids for military men who cheat on their wives.
I'm in charge of hiring new recruits, sir.
Oh, sorry.
Which
Wrong
does not
department.
sound creepy at all.
Yikes! Now there's a scary thought.
Evidence transferal was taking place on the day of the crime, which meant many officers were given special tasks not ordinarily performed.
I was in charge of guarding the Blue Badger, sir.
Pardon me?
The Blue Badger?
As blue as your t-shirt. Yes, sir. A lovely police mascot created by the head detective, sir. I was to ensure it wasn't broken during the transferal process.
It's the most terrifying thing I've ever seen.
That was my sole mission for the day, sir.
Don't go to sleep!
I see. Sounds like a very, important mission.
After the awards ceremony finished that day, there were so many people running around. I relocated the Blue Badger, or Togepi knockoff, to the evidence room.
Oh, so that's why you went to the evidence room today?
Tell us, what did you see when you got there?
I spotted a suspicious man on the security.
Hold it! In order to enter the evidence room, you need an ID card. Am I correct?
Precisely, sir. I have one right here around my neck.
So then, your ID number should be listed in here, right? This paper I'm tapping. Turn that round so you can all see.
There it is. I found it. This is the one right here.
Could you please read us the number?
Yes, sir. It's 4989596. That's my number, sir.
I see. Huh. But the number 4989596 Slam is shown as being used twice.
Please explain, witness.
It's no real mystery, sir. The first time is when I relocated Blue Badger to the evidence room. And the second time is when I went to go get him after everything settled down.
I see. So, it was during the second time when...
Yes, sir. That's when I spotted the man on the security screen.
Okay.
I was only doing what I was trained to do.
Hold it. So you were attacked. Can you please tell us exactly what happened to you?
It was a knife, sir. A knife.
That's not a knife. Oh, sorry, I've got the wrong bloody room again. Sorry,
This
everyone.
guy again,
Sorry.
Jesus
Courtroom
Christ.
Sorry, I'll let myself
10.
out. Sorry, everyone.
Alright, see you, Paul.
All right, have a nice day.
Cheers.
Eddie Goodman pulled a knife. What happened then?
Well, with me charging a man like that, he was as surprised as I was.
You aren't exactly the kind of person someone would want to run into. Bloody hell, I can't read today. Or
That's
say.
when I reacted, sir. I swung my arms like an octopus struggling to detain him.
It's a strong image.
That's how I got this gash on my hand. Big gash.
Maybe if you could just keep your cool, your hand wouldn't be...
When I saw the blood trickling down my arm, I panicked. I grabbed the man by his collar. I fought for my life.
Hold it! Slam, what exactly do you mean when you say you did it?
I know I don't look the type, but I'm really into kung fu films, sir.
I have an objection. He looks exactly the type.
I was just about to say, I'm sorry, Meekins.
The man let his guard down for just an instant, so I snatched his knife from him.
You took his knife.
That's not... Oh, my God. Nearly did it again.
Who's this guy keeps coming back in?
That's Paul Hogan. He's a good guy. Is he? I
I
don't know.
spun him around and performed a disarming maneuver. If that's how you spell maneuver. I made sure to close my eyes like a man.
See. He must have been desperate.
The next thing I knew, his white coat was drenched in a sea of my blood. And then the next thing I knew.
Yeah?
He punched me right in my face, sir! After that, I passed out.
Did you say pissed out? About what time did you regain consciousness?
No offense, sir. I said passed out. I just went slightly New
Right-o.
Jersey for no reason. But how am I supposed to know that? I was unconscious. Or for just from New Jersey.
Oh, right.
According to the report from the officer that woke up the witness, very scary man, it was about 5:30.
He hit me right in the head, too. And on my noo-noo.
That's right, and I'll do it again if you don't keep your frickin' mouth shut.
Steady, Droopy.
I woke up crying tears of pain.
That's nice. I mean, it's nice that you recovered.
When I came around, though, I made sure to finish my mission, sir.
Your mission?
Attack and dethrone God.
Yes, sir. Attack it. I need the blue badger, sir. I returned it to the entrance before things got out of hand.
Well, we can all rest easy now.
I believe we now have a fairly accurate picture of what happened.
Do you?
I'm
I have
just
no
trying to move
clue.
it along. I've got a golf game at 6.
Yes, Your Honor. Only one thing remains unclear. Was the man this officer, quote, murdered, really the victim?
He's got a point, I think.
Yes, Officer Meekins.
I think he's about to burst into song.
Gee, Officer
With
Meekins.
regard
hell
to
up.
that, sir. Take a look at this. It was sent to myself. Chief Cam delivered it to me just this morning, sir. That doesn't rhyme, chick.
Oh no, 2 stars from Lynn Gardner. The chief.
Delivered it?
What's that? Videotape?
Yes, sir. That's absolutely right, sir. A videotape, sir. Also, incidentally, my favorite song by Radiohead. It contains footage from the security camera in the evidence room.
Objection. What? But I specifically asked if there was such a tape. And was told it had been mistakenly erased.
That's quite a mistake.
I just do what I'm told, sir. It's the only thing I'm really good at.
This guy's a textbook sub.
Looks like communication with the police department is as good as ever.
Well then, let's have a look. Someone roll out my VCR. Show us the video of you murdering the victim. I love a good snuff.
All right, do you actually want me to put on this video? Because I've got The Land Before Time here, if you want to watch that instead. I've got Spaceballs. I've got
Now let's
Muppets
put the
Treasure
snuff
we
one
watch-
on.
All right.
Phoenix, can we do the dinosaur run after this?
We can
Oh,
indeed.
please stop using that word murder, sir. It scares me.
All right, I'll play the murder video, but only because it's the last day of term.
Yay!
I love the substitute court teacher.
Plan, a video of a real murder. Just what are we getting ourselves into?
Just switch it to PAL, not NTSD.
Don't
What a
turn
happy
away.
murder this is.
Don't turn away from me or I might disappear. Oh, you're last.
It really does not look like a badger.
Phoenix, why is it holding flags?
I believe that's the ancient art of semaphore. I can't read it.
Is it in distress?
I think it might be.
Is that
Oh.
a semaphore for rescue?
Oh,
Or maybe
wait.
badger.
Oh, that's a semaphore for badger, right?
Oh,
Yeah. Okay, you win. Phoenix, we gotta get points on the board.
really do.
May I echo all 3 of those sentiments? I believe we're all thinking the same thing.
Let's put the Land Before Time on.
How can we deal with these unsettling feelings stirred within us of sexual attraction to a badger? Or whatever you
What the hell was that wriggling piece of plywood moving around all janky and disgusting and staring at me with those deep black eyes? And waving those flags as if to say, I'm here, Edgeworth. I'm waiting for you. Sorry, I blacked out for a second.
Sir, that is the pride and joy of the entire Criminal Affairs Department, sir! It's the Blue Badger, sir! And my best friend.
Why am I not surprised this isn't going smoothly?
Because you're a bad lawyer.
I mean, it can't be because of my lawyering. I'm really good at it. Right, what am I going to put in my evidence rucksack here? Get that video.
Well, anyway, this tape seems to prove that the witness did indeed encounter someone.
Good. Textbook legal talk.
In the evidence room, and some sort of activity took place.
Your Honour, instead of relying on the clearly incomplete footage, which I will be requesting a copy of, for legal reasons.
Oh yes, we're all getting a copy.
Oh yeah, I
Phoenix
would love
just
one
put it in
too.
his bag.
The
He
witness's
just took it.
testimony will
He
suffice.
did not ask.
Is that all right with you, Officer Meekins?
Shush, Emma. This is my secret tape.
Yes, sir, as you wish, sir! Mr. Ramon, his face can't be clearly seen in the video. But there's no question that the other person was Detective Goodman, sir. I mean, he opened the locker, which required Detective Goodman's fingerprint to do. The locker he opened is unquestionably Detective Goodman's locker, sir. So it must be him. No one else could have unlocked it.
This guy's an amazing hype man.
What's this about a fingerprint? Sounds like an awfully high-tech locker.
Each detective has been given a locker equipped with a fingerprint-activated lock. These locks ensure that each locker can only be opened by the detective it belongs to.
Intriguing. That would mean the victim at the crime scene would have to be Detective Goodman. Very well. The event may re-begin its cross-examination.
I don't know where this cross-examination will lead.
Because you're
Because
a bad
I'm-
lawyer.
It's such an honor to learn in an environment like this.
But everything begins with contradictions. That's the one thing I've learned. That's where I have to start.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Watch and learn, everyone.
Cross-examination, mystery man. His face can't be clearly seen in the video, but blah, 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 blah. I mean, he's blah, 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 blah.
Hold it. Slam. However, the most important detail is not shown in this video. The man's face, for God's sake.
Sir, if I may say something, sir.
Please do. After all, you are the one being examined.
Yes, that's right. And can we have less talk in the exam room, please? Jesus Christ.
I don't understand why the man's face is so important in this case, sir. I mean, it was his hand that opened the fingerprint lock.
Miss, can I have a new pen?
And it was his hand that tried to put his knife into my body, sir! My unsettled state could testify enough to this, sir!
Yes, you do have a point there. The footage doesn't lie.
Nor do my hips.
That is... unless the defense can find a problem with it.
Mr. Wright, let's check the court record again. Have we done that before? Today?
Is there a problem with this security video?
You
Yes.
tell me.
There's a problem.
Gosh,
Regarding
decisive.
the video contained on this tape, there is one thing in particular that seems rather strange.
Strange?
First of all, that it's on a VHS tape. And then this contradiction leads to the possibility that, Slam, the man may not be Detective Goodman.
What? The video contains such a contradiction?
No objection. Hollow laugh. Interesting. Your Honor, I have a proposal. Phénix,
Oh my God.
would you make me the
Yes.
happiest man in the world?
Oh my God, Phénix, it's happening.
What's happening?
And propose we have the defense, Mr. Phénix Wright, point out to us this alleged contradiction in the video. Ha! Crushed your dreams.
Oh,
It's all right. I brought you a chocolate bar.
Thank you, Emma. You would want me to point it out.
Very well. Proposal accepted.
He said yes!
But the
Yay!
Let us further inspect this piece of evidence. I will now play the security tape.
Excuse me, but only teachers are allowed to use the video equipment. Thank you very much.
And you said next would be the Land Before Time.
Mr. Wright, please show us the contradiction you speak of. Sorry, I mean of which you speak, of course. I'm sorry.
No worries. I have to point out a problem in the video. This is the first time I've ever had to do that.
Jesus.
Sure,
Who
you have
the
that
fuck
ability.
is this man?
If you need any more emotional support chocolate, I've got some in my bag. You can do it, Mr. Wright. It's set up so you can fast forward, rewind, or pause the video, like every video.
Fast forward, rewind,
Hmm.
and pause.
Just take a good look and be sure to point out the right thing. We know what you're like.
Okay.
Please don't play too many times. I can't stand watching this video. Very triggering.
How did this guy ever become a police officer?
Fuck knows.
Now then, Mr. Wright, please enlighten us. Where is the contradiction that indicates that the man may not be Detective Good?
Okay, stretch out
That's
my
it.
pointing out
Just
finger.
press it. Just press it.
Take that! The thing that's strange about this video has got to be this. Officer Meekins.
That's right, he is very strange, but I don't see what that pertains to the tape.
Sir? Did you mean me, sir? Golly.
As I understand it, the locker apparatus works like this, as you can see clearly on this piece of paper I'm tapping. When you grab the handle, a sensor reads your fingerprint. If the print matches the registered data, the light turns on and the lock is released.
According to my very limited experience, that's the way I understand it, sir.
Slam, if so, then something is seriously wrong with this picture.
I know
I mean,
your
first of all, it doesn't
secrets.
look like a badger.
Is that a crown? Is it King of the Badgers?
I think it might be. When the victim reaches for the handle to open the locker, let's rewind to a little earlier. So it's this big button here.
That's it.
Oh
you're
no,
getting
he's
it.
turned on the menu. No one knows how to get out of that.
Oh, Christ, picture contrast.
Phénix, it's now in Spanish.
Oh no. Look here. Do you notice the light?
¿Notice a la luz?
Por supuesto.
¿Qué es esto?
¿Qué es esto? Es... ¿Tengo luz ya?
Nod. Precisely my point, Your Honor.
Precisamente mi punta, tu honor.
The locker was already open before the victim grabbed the handle.
¡Está abierto!
Oh my god.
Oh
it's
my
a
God,
bilingual
this is-
Don't speak a word
massacre.
of Spanish, I'm fucked.
Shut up, you bloody Welsh! Order! Order, what's the meaning of this?
It's very simple, Your Honour. The locker wasn't locked on the day of the crime.
Objection! Slam! I can do it too, but the locker locks are controlled by an electronic system.
With can do.
When a door is shut, a sensor is triggered. And the locker is automatically locked! That's how machines work! Machines never make mistakes!
I know. It must be broken down. Of course, I'm not an expert in this.
That's not likely, Your Honor. The sensor would detect and report any malfunction. Somehow it can do that even when it's broken.
Oh well. Just go to show novices and keep their mouths shut. So then, Mr. Wright, do you have an experience?
Me, Your Honour?
No, the other Mr. Wright. Yes. Why wasn't the locker locked?
Me, Your Honour?
Have another chocolate bar, Mr. Wright.
Thank you. Yes. Well, you see, this isn't exactly my field. What do you think, Miss Scientific Investigator?
Oh, well, I wasn't expecting maybe something like jam the electronic system.
Something jam the sensor? Say.
Raspberry.
There's something else that seems out of place in this video.
Yeah, I thought so too. There's gotta be another clue somewhere in this footage.
Very well. Let's inspect the video once more.
Okay, but after this class, we will be moving on to Muppets Treasure Island.
Yay!
The locker wasn't locked, Mr. Wright. Please point out the cause for this.
Stretch
Remember,
that
Mr.
right
Wright,
onto
it's
the
just
finger.
your finger you need.
Right, okay, not the palm.
No.
All right, pause. Oh no. Take
That's your
that!
thumb.
Shit. Slam.
Oh, now it's in Italian!
Please watch closely. This is the continuation of the part I showed you earlier.
What are these? Something white fell out of the locker. Cocaine, perhaps?
Phoenix, what's cocaine?
I'll tell you
But
later.
sir, it's been my experience that things fall out when doors are opened. I often fall out and roll great distance.
Objection! We can't be sure that item was in the locker to begin with.
What do you mean?
The sensor triggers the lock when the door is shut. What if something was inserted, say, between the sensor and the door?
Inserted.
No beatboxing in the court.
Sorry
This
about
white
that.
thing wasn't inside the locker. It was stuck between the door and the sensor.
Oh, I understand now, sir. It's just like my tie. 2 out of 3 times it gets stuck in the door when I get out of my patrol vehicle, sir. Instead of the door closing.
But the object would have to be extremely thin to fit in the door.
Not only that, it would also have to block electrical currents. It would need to be an insulator.
Education.
Yes, an insulator. That's a crime.
If you know what's an insulator and could be put in a locker, write the answer down in your workbook now.
And then you'll receive facts page 555.
There just might have been something that fits the description.
Check your bag.
But, sir, by insulator, you...
I think I finally got this figured out.
Very well. Will the defense please present the relevant evidence?
Only took you 45 minutes to present evidence.
What was this insulator that was stuck in the
Here,
locker door?
I'll hold the bag open,
Thank
Phoenix.
you.
You dive in.
I think it's in the front pocket here. Oh, here we go. Take that! I found this near the locker. A thin rubber glove.
We can't be sure that was in the victim's locker.
It has a tag that says in the locker and also SL-9 incident.
Yeah.
The video seems to depict the victim opening the locker. But that isn't the case. The lit lamp attests to this. I asked him myself, Slam. On the day of the crime, even I could have opened that locker.
You did multiple times.
I did. Is this not so, Officer Meekins?
It would appear so, sir.
Oh my god, the twists and
Oh
turns.
my
And
god,
then
the
you,
locker's been
Could you
opened.
get us a
I
code?
don't trust technology as far as I can throw it.
Order! So, are we to believe then that the victim whom this witness stabbed in the evidence room was not Detective Goodman?
Objection. Do not be misled by his powerful doe eyes that you could just swim in, Your Honor.
What do you mean, powerful doe eyes, Mr. Midman?
I've got big doughy... sorry,
uh,
Edgeworth.
The defense has merely... It's warm in here. I should probably take off one of my many ruffles. The defense has merely demonstrated that possibility and nothing more.
Take it off slowly, Edgeworth.
Don't... Not here.
Phoenix, you're shaking.
The victim in this video was indeed Bruce Goodman. The prosecution will offer one more testimony to prove this.
What?
Officer Meekins, please testify about this.
They're the
Boom
same guy.
shakalaka.
Sir? Me, sir? I'm not sure what you're referring to, sir.
You do not want to see me get out from behind this desk.
Phoenix would.
Yes, I would.
Oh, you mean that, sir? Of course, sir.
Oh, is this a joke?
You cross-examined a para in your last case.
That was fun, though.
Yes, Lynn.
Very well, begin. You very much inverted your testimony.
Mystery Man 2, Mystery Manor.
There's one other thing that proves the man was Detective Goodman, sir. To enter the evidence room, one must use their ID card. When an ID card is used, there's a record of it. At the time of the crime, the detective had used his card.
An ID card record. I see.
I have the ID card record right here, Your Honor. Let me you're very far away. Just need to slide that over to you. There we go. The ID used at 514 is that of the victim.
Just before the crime. Yes, without a doubt, this is the victim's ID. However, one thing does strike me as unusual. several hundred cases should have been due for transferal. Why were there so few people using this room?
This particular evidence room is only used for storing certain special cases.
Special cases?
Extremely violent cases involving police staff. So you see, Your Honor, it's not unusual. It happens all the time.
Just hearing that makes my hair stand on end, like figuratively.
Me too. Although it doesn't make much of a difference. See, I've got spiky hair. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
There were only a few cases for transferal there, and most were cleared up by noon.
Right. I see. Now, let's move on to the cross-examination
Exactly.
of the same witness for the third time.
Exactly, because it's not unusual. It happens every day, no matter what you say.
There's one other thing that proves the blah, blah, blah. I said this all already.
Mr. Wright, what do you think?
The problem with the...
That's all right. There's one other thing that proves the man was Detective Goodman, sir.
Right,
Here's the bag, here's the bag.
Oh, Jesus.
Quickly, get it. It's in the
What do I
side
need? Nothing
pouch.
of it.
I
Oh,
love it all in
Christ.
time.
Do we need this?
Careful, there's a knife in there.
Objection! Sam, wait! 1 moment, Officer Meekins.
I'm waiting a moment. I'm not good at waiting, sir.
I have the victim's ID card right here. I found it at the crime scene.
Oh, snap!
Well done, Phoenix.
Thank you.
That makes sense.
When I say crime scene, I'm not referring to the evidence room at the police department.
Sure.
No. I mean the other crime scene.
Oh my God.
The underground parking lot at the prosecutor's office.
What a storyteller.
Good, it's so hot right now.
Your Honour, I have one more piece of evidence to present. It's a very important clue regarding the victim's ID card.
Lost item report. It's only half completed.
But it shows that Detective Goodman has lost something on the day of the crime.
Nice, very specific. You're a lawyer, remember?
Something important enough to fill out this report.
Let me guess. You believe this something to be his ID card, right?
It's not going to be his ego card.
I can't say for sure, but there is a high probability. On the day of the crime, Detective Goodman was not carrying his card.
Oh my God, the twisted
Oh my
Unbelievable.
God, I always carry
Why
my
are they
card.
going round and round in
Go on,
circles like
mate.
the teddy bear?
Order. So now, please.
It can only mean one thing. It doesn't require much thought, and I should know because I don't think much. The man Officer Meekins encountered in the evidence room was not Detective Goodman, but rather the man who stole his ID card.
Oh my God!
Oh,
Bloody
bloody
hell.
flabbergasted.
More popcorn, I'm up to mine.
Order, boyos, order. Does the prosecutor have a response?
Yeah, I will. I've got a response for you. I'm going to have it right at the end of this sentence. I have only one thing to say to the defense.
This might be your moment, Phoenix. He might drop those 3 words.
Bravo, Mr. Wright.
Oh, those are
You
3 words,
did.
but they're not the ones I wanted. Why not? Bravo.
Allow me to summarize the defense's argument.
Please do, because I have no idea.
At 5:15 p.m. on the day of the crime, the man Officer Meekins encountered in the evidence room was not Detective Goodman. There are 2 grounds to support this. Not new grounds, but 2 grounds. First, the locker in the evidence room was already unlocked. Second, the victim lost his ID card. Am I correct so far, Mr. Wright? Look me in the balls and say that.
Oh. Yes. What's he up to?
That being the case, we must inevitably arrive at a single conclusion. If the victim in this video is a fake, then the murder in the evidence room is also fake. In other words, the security camera does not show the instant of the murder.
That is, well, I guess that's right.
Is
What a
something
legal
wrong,
moment.
Mr. Wright? Oh, match point Edgeworth.
Christ, what a singer.
Only moments ago you seemed content to be pointing your finger around, but now I am the pointer. Point.
He's right. This isn't good. He's very good at pointing.
Well, it seems you finally realized exactly what you've gone to such lengths to prove.
Explain yourself, Mr. Edward.
I don't have to explain myself to... Oh, wait, you're the judge.
Let me go.
Yeah. The defense has already done the explaining for me.
I have?
The victim in this video is a fake, which means a murder did not take place at the police department at 5:15 on the day of the crime. Slam! So the real crime could only take place at one location, the underground parking lot. At the prosecutor's office, the murderer being Miss Lana Skye, the defendant.
No!
The evidence is compelling. A trustworthy witness observed the moment the defendant used the murder weapon.
Ah! So I thought I saw a spider.
Oh my god.
I'll get it,
Oh,
I'll
Oh,
get
you
it.
got him there. I love a good
Do you
twist.
Do you have a glass I can trap it under?
Yes, here you go.
Oh, thanks.
I knew that testimony was way too shabby. It was all a trap from the beginning.
The activity in the evidence room still leaves many questions unanswered, colon. Who exactly was the victim? Or was the Meekins encounter? Where did this person disappear to? However, this trial purpose is to examine only the murder of Detective Goodman.
Bow, just so, Your Honor.
Mr. Wright, you have to do something, or else Lana...
Slam! Nervous slam! What do I do? How am I supposed to get myself out of this mess?
Heads up, I think the spider's now in the bag.
Christ, objection! One moment, Your Honour. Emma, God, you
What
grab that leg and
now,
I'll grab this.
Mr. Wright?
Get a spider out of our bag.
There were 8 of them.
Don't tell me you're objecting to what you've just proven.
There! Got rid of it.
Don't throw a spider at me.
Of course not. And I'm sorry about that. But I almost walked right into the prosecution's web or a trap.
What
That was
Bravo, bravo.
Thank you.
are you fucking talking about?
We got out
You've
of
earned
that.
another chocolate bar.
Thank you. This cross-examination has proven one thing, and one thing only. That this does not look like a badger. The security video did not show the actual murder. We'll just play this to the end because it's quite a fun video.
Yeah, it's pretty sexy.
Yeah. Like a slam. However, it cannot be said that it is unrelated to the murder in the parking lot. Specifically, large amounts of blood traces were found in the evidence room. The defence demands further examination into the truth of the matter.
Mr. Edgewood,
Yes, Your Honor.
if this court were to examine this further, other witnesses would be necessary. If the prosecution prepared,
I'm sorry, Your Honor. I'm afraid I can't do that right now. The prosecution considered the incident at the police department to be unrelated. We have not prepared any other witnesses for this incident.
Slam. This just might be my chance. Edgeworth. Time to call a certain Texas Ranger to the stand.
Mr. Wright, do you mean...
Yes, I'm bringing the parrot back. Your Honour, the defence would like to request a specific witness.
oh, specific witness? Usually they're all general. Who do you have in mind?
So, someone we have reason to believe knows the truth.
Christ almighty.
The truth behind the activities that took place in the evidence room.
that he does travel with a large knife?
The prosecution requests to hear this person's name. Otherwise, we suspect the defense is pulling it out of his pert buttocks.
Oh, thank you.
And before deciding whether or not to comply.
Very well then, Mr. Wright. This person whom you would have testified, let's see. What is his or her name?
Take that! Officer Jake Marshall.
Why him?
Why not? I can't let him know everything just yet. He's in charge of the evidence room. I feel we should hear what he has to say.
The prosecution agrees to the defense's request. Since he was responsible for guarding the room, we should hear his testimony. Fortunately, he works in the police department. We shouldn't need longer than 20 minutes to prepare.
Very well. The court will take a 30-minute recess. 20 minutes for that and 10 minutes for whatever you fancy, while the witness is subpoenaed. Will the prosecution please prepare the witness during this time?
We will, Your Honor.
Court is in recess.
February 24th, 11:32 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 2.
I love this defendant's lobby. There's no stopping you, is there, Mr. Wright?
Huh? Sorry, I was just tying my shoe. What do you mean?
You called for Jake Marshall. It seems you've figured everything out.
I haven't figured anything out.
Lana, you're the one who knows everything. Emma, you always know everything. Why don't you just tell us? Mr. Wright, he's trying to do his hardest to protect you.
I am.
I don't recall ever asking for his protection. How can you be so cold? Don't you trust us? Don't you trust me? Oh, that's super annoying, that high-pitched shit.
Well, I hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals.
What?
Oh, I guess I am. I'll come back later.
Yeah, we're having a bit of a family thing.
Oh, Detective Gumshoe, what is it?
Oh, you got a lot of nerve, pal, making a detective run around while on duty. And to top it off, you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals.
Sorry, Detective, but someone is dead.
You better be, pal. Hey! Hey! Hey, I didn't see you there, Miss Sky.
That's okay. So, have you bought what I asked?
Oh, 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 oh.
Droopy, could you slap this guy?
Oh, with pleasure.
Don't you dare, Droopy. Get away from me. You mean
He
this
listens
right,
to
Miss
me.
Sky?
My apologies, Detective. Due to my present circumstances, I was forced to use Mr. Wright's name when making my request.
That's kind of a crime.
Shut up, Droopy.
My
You
name?
speak with your hands.
Oh, never in a million years would I have thought it was you that asked me. Could I bother you to bring the SL-9 incident files? I'll need them by noon. Talk about crazy. The SL... Sorry.
No, absolutely fine. You read my mind. The
Stay in character, for God's sake.
incident.
I am in character. I was apologizing to this fine defense with...
Shut
Thank you,
up.
Detective.
Just shut up. Like, Lana, that's... I thought Mr. Wright might need them, so I had them brought here. Here. You might do well to read them.
I can't believe you, the chief prosecutor, were a witness in that case.
Miss Sky was a witness?
Take it from me. You don't want anything to do with serial murderers.
Oh. I was going to
Speak
have...
for yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, what? Now that I brought you your stuff, you're just gonna ignore me.
Sorry, I was just... the other lace has gone on my shoe. Emma! But why? Why is your name in here?
What? My name's in there? I don't know, unless, No, couldn't be. Lana, this is the SL-9 incident. Is that... That's the classification number the police filed it under. Nothing more, nothing less. 2 years ago, the rest of the world knew it as the Joe Dark killings. But SL-9 is easier, rolls off the tongue more.
Yeah.
The Joe Dark... No, Lana! That's over with, no!
Emma, wait! She ran away. Exposition.
This is Droopy to all foot patrol units. We got a runner. Repeat, we got a runner. In pursuit.
You know what? I just remembered I, gotta be somewhere. Sorry, pal, but, I'm out of here.
Where you going? Gumshoe!
After Emma.
He can't drive. I don't know how he's going to leave.
Jake Marshall, Andrew Starr, Damon Gant, Miles Edgeworth. No, not to mention Lana and Emma. everyone involved in this case is connected to those killings 2 years ago. This can't be just a coincidence, if that is a real word.
Knowing you, you might just be able to figure it out. Time to get back to the trial, Mr. Wright. Best of luck without my 15-year-old kid's sister.
Oh, thanks, Lana. I'd better take a good look at this file. Right. Page 1. File.
Well, that is exceedingly dramatic. A lot of twists and turns happening in the case, and we finally have a name to the SL-9 incident, the Joe Dart killings. Will we find out more? Who knows? I know, because I've got the walkthrough, but I like leaving it open for the purposes of drama. We're going to take a quick break now. Thank you to everyone who joined us from the Questing Time stream. It's so lovely to have you on board. We're going to take a quick 5 to 10 minute break, and we'll be back soon. Don't go anywhere, because there's going to be more legal wranglings in the second half. See you then. Hello, me again. Welcome back to the second half of La Théâtre de Phénix. If this is your first time watching, I can't contextualize this, but I will tell you, typically, I'm dressed nicer than this. Now, we still have a whole trial left to go. Jake Marshall has been called to the stand. Now, he was on guard duty in the evidence room, but what is Jake Marshall's connection to the SL-9 case? Will we find out? Will Phénix make more spur-of-the-moment dumb decisions? Probably. Let's get back to it with part 2 of the Day 2 trial. Oh no, it's Day 3 trial. Oh, this case is so long. The Day 3 trial of Rise from the Ashes. Enjoy. February 24th, 11:14 p.m. District Court. Coming back for a three-peat. It's courtroom number 9, everybody.
Hey!
Everybody's
favorite.
You always have a great time
Absolutely
at
love
courtroom 9.
it.
This courtroom.
I'm so at home in here.
The court will now reconvene for the trial of the slot. Time.
Emma didn't come back. Shit.
Allow me to call the next witness to the stand. The officer in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day of the crime.
Whiskey.
That witness, please state your name and occupation. And I know that answers neither.
Sorry about that. Me, partner? Well, I'm just a man, same as you, wandering the trails of civilization.
Occasionally helping the elderly cross intersections when needed.
Who I know. Patrolman.
As for my name, if you listen hard enough, you can hear it. You can hear the howling wind calling it out.
To be exact, it's Jake Marshall, Your Honor.
Howling wind? I've never heard Edgeworth described that way before, but I like it.
Now, Mr. Marshall, let me ask you something. you were in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day the crime took place. Is this correct?
According to the papers, partner.
What do you mean?
A desperado's soul is as boundless as the desert sands. No paper can sum it up.
Maybe it's best we just get on with this quickly. Please share with us your testimony of the day of the crime. In English.
My job was to keep a wary eye on that bone orchard. They said I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day, but that ain't my style. Besides, the ruin's protected by 2 security systems anyway. If I remember right, I was at the street side saloon the day it went down. I'm just an innocent traveling man, so if you're out of ammo, it's time I hit the trail.
I can't say I particularly care for your attitude.
Now, I can't say I care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining.
Oh, snap!
Wait a minute.
The library is open.
What do you mean by 2 security systems?
I mean the security cameras and the ID card reader. I reckon even a cowpoke like you knows about those.
Yes. Well, what about the fingerprint-activated locks inside the evidence room?
Fingerprint-activated locks? What kind of newfangled doohickeys are those?
He's not being very helpful.
He's not good with machines. That's Donatello of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He does machines. Or following orders.
Everyone's got their weaknesses now, don't they, Mr. Prosecutor?
I swear to God, you...
This one seems like trouble. Okay, Mr. Wright. He's all yours.
Goody goody gumdrops.
My job was to keep a wary eye on that. Room's protected.
Hold it! Slam, what were you doing in a place like that?
I was eating spaghetti. Not even angel steak lunches can beat that parlor's vongole sepia pasta.
You need to tell us. You abandoned your police duty. You saluted your plan.
Not all desperados eat tacos, partner.
I want that on a t-shirt.
Not what I meant. I hope this has at least taught you a lesson.
That's strange. This is usually where Edgeworth says, "Did you not want a raise this year?"
I'm just an innocent traveling man, so if you're out of ammo, it's time I hit the trail. Keep a drinking whiskey on the stand.
Let's have a look at my evidence rucksack.
Keep
Objection!
Oh,
Officer Marshall, doesn't it strike you as odd? That is, you being called in to testify like this? After all, you weren't in the security room at the time of the crime. That rhymed.
and yet you dragged me down here. Explain yourself, partner.
It's quite simple. You left a very large trail behind at the scene. Or, to be exact, a handprint.
Listen real good, partner.
Did you just fucking snap?
I did indeed.
Like I said, I'm the caretaker of that crypt. I pay my respects. That is, I make my rounds about once a month. It's only natural my fingerprints would be in there.
Objection! No, I only wish it were, officer. Slam, but you see, your fingerprints were covered in blood.
Oh, it's
Well,
who would have
blood,
imagined
that's
such a thing
red.
like this?
Cowboy
My
down.
hands are covered in blood right now.
What's the meaning of this? Your blood-stained fingerprints were a crime.
The blood was wiped away. However, a luminol test clearly revealed this. Well, Officer Marshall?
He's got a knife!
Just having a nice little exfoliating shave, get the dead skin off me. Now, it seems to me there ain't a person in this room with a head on his shoulders.
Huh? I see a lot of heads on shoulders.
I take it you have an explanation then, Officer Marshall, and I would like to remind you that I have head, shoulders, knees, and toes.
Knees and toes?
Knees and toes.
About the blood-stained fingerprints?
Very well. You may begin your testimony about your fingerprints. Found at the scene of the crime.
Like I said, it's only natural for my fingerprints to be in that evidence room. One of them just happened to be at the same place as the bloodstained handprint. The murderer touched the locker where my fingerprint was by chance. The stain and the fingerprint are completely unrelated. Or, didn't you know the murderer was wearing gloves? See, I had nothing to do with it.
The witness's explanation appears valid, although there's room for doubt.
Life wouldn't be fun without any doubt, partner.
Preach. The defense may now cross-examine the witness.
This guy's hiding something. I can feel it. Now's my chance to prove it.
To get off the hairs from the face. Like I said, now it's only natural for my fingerprints to be in that evidence room. Ooh.
Hold it. That's because you, how did you put it, pay your respects once a month.
I don't take kindly to the impression of the accent, but yet that's right. That and one more thing. That locker happens to be mine.
Well, what do you mean?
I mean what I said. That's the locker that I used when I was still a detective. Locker I still use. All that's in there now, though, is a heap of broken dreams.
Poetic. I see.
It'd be strange if my prints weren't all over that locker.
Apparently his fingerprint data was never changed. He must have been using the fingerprint lock without even knowing it.
One of them just happened to be at the same place as the blood. Now the murderer touched the locker. Well, the blood stained the fingerprint, or
Hold it! Slam, how do you know that?
I may be a loner, but I still do my job. I keep up on the reports.
That's right. It was found in Detective Gumshoe's locker.
However, no fingerprints were detected on that handprint.
Oh yeah. I think we've tried that too.
You're a beautiful moron sometimes.
So, the murderer, wearing gloves, happened to place his hand on top of Officer Marshall's fingerprint.
That's the only logical conclusion. You starting to get the picture, partner?
The picture?
This seal of blood. In the desert, it's just food for the buzzards.
Oh, very good, very good.
Nice.
Yeah, I've got a book coming out next month, Burning Out Books.
Huh?
There's only one reality, and that's this.
The security tape.
So long as my trail isn't in there, you can't say otherwise.
This isn't getting us anywhere, Mr. Wright. Please consider carefully where you're going with this cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honour.
Now then, continue to your testimony, Officer Marshall.
Too bad it wasn't me in that video, right?
Hold it. What do you mean by that?
You want to tie me to this crime, isn't that right, partner?
Maybe.
If so, that video is the only direct evidence you have.
Objection. Slam. But that video is next to useless. It's full of blind spots.
Blind spots?
Places you can't see.
Like the answer to this case.
Precisely. The camera's panning back and bloody forth. The floor isn't shown. If someone was familiar with the camera's position, he could leave the room without being caught on tape.
Objection, Slam. We don't have time for your speculations, Mr. Wright.
Well, Mr. Wright, you didn't show us evidence in this video that indicates Officer Marshall was present. You do so now.
Nod. Very well. Allow me to point out your mistake, Officer Marshall.
Tread carefully, Mr. Wright, or you might wind up being the one making the mistake.
Now then, let's have another look at the video. We haven't seen this enough times.
All right, class, but this is the last time, and then you're going to have to go on break.
One more time, yay!
Show us this incriminating evidence of the witness, Officer Jake Marshall.
Yeah. I love the score to this video as well. It's very... Makes the murder very happy.
It's like my favorite Willie Nelson tune.
Oh, take that, Slam. Bringing our attention back to the security camera is a mistake I'm afraid you'll soon not forget, Officer Marshall.
Days are short in Texas, and so are our tempers. Could you sum up what you have to say in 8 words or less?
Or maybe 140 characters?
I'll take at least 1 pretense, 2 tweets.
Nod. Very well. Slam. You can clearly be seen in this video. Fuck, that's 8 words. Brilliant.
Exactly 8 words. Not bad, partner.
The key, adding up the words as you go through your head, and also lies in a certain locker shown in the video.
In this locker that has a white lock here, this is the witness's locker.
Now then, let's rewind the video a bit.
Turn that video back! Sorry, it's a very slow rewind.
No! My God! It's gone! What's the meaning of this officer, Marshal?
When the crime took place, the white cloth wasn't there. Then, it suddenly appeared. There were only one explanation. Slam, Officer Marshal, you were in the evidence room at the time of the crime. What's more, you opened your locker when the camera turned away.
Oh, there's blind accusations.
What a crazy
possibility there.
9 today.
Order,
Is that
order.
something certain? We've gone round in circles.
Hold your horses. Sorry, partner, but you got the wrong man.
Huh?
So what if my locker was opened? That doesn't mean I'm the one who opened it.
Oh, God, this dumb fucking hick.
Murderer needed to hide something, so he opened a locker and stuck it in.
No, dig up, idiot. Dig up.
It's not my fault he happened to choose mine. Why is everyone staring at me like I'm a wanted man?
This guy isn't just playing dumb. He really doesn't know. I hate to rain on your parade, but you're the only person who can open that particular locker.
Yeah? I call your bluff.
This is not the slam dunk you think it is.
Say I opened that locker. Now prove it.
Rightio, let me have a look at my evidence bag. Here's a present.
Fingerprint sensor.
We talked about this earlier today. The lockers can only be opened by the detectives they belong to.
Wait, what kind of crazy talk is this?
Slam. Well, Detective Gumshoe? Well, Detective Gumshoe did mention something about this.
In any case, the locks aren't that obvious. There's even some people in the force that don't know about the fingerprint lock scare.
I remember it like it was today. So, Sheriff? What do you have to say? In 8 words or less,
Oh,
motherfucker.
shit!
That's not a lot of words. Oh, this jerky, or maybe I think jerky is delicious. But I only got 1 word for you, partner. No!
Oh my God, he screamed no and ate jerky
Christ.
on the stand.
If he's got rid of his knife, do I have to get rid of mine?
Witness, explain yourself.
If this is a joke, it's the worst I've ever heard.
You haven't seen the other streams.
I assure you, this is no joke, Officer Marshall. Now then, please tell us what you were doing in the evidence room at the time of the crime. you swine.
Even jerky ain't gonna reduce my rage.
Ole! I don't know why I said that, but please answer the question.
What is he now? A bullfighter? That's all right, Officer Marshall. I believe we can figure the rest out from here.
We can?
Have a look at these floor plans. Stick up on the easel. There we go. There is no place for someone to hide in the evidence room. Yet, Officer Meekins didn't see Officer Marshall.
If that's so, then where was the witness?
It seems Mr. Wright has an answer and is playing coy about it. Go on, Wright, give it up.
Yes, I will. That's right. The only possible conclusion. My undying... Oh, sorry.
Well then, let's hear it. Just talk to yourself quietly. There's no teenager listening to you now. Where was Officer Marshall at the time of the crime?
Where was he? Take that! Where my finger is, slam. Officer Marshall was standing right here.
There, but that's...
No, but that's where the victim, Detective Goodman, was.
Correct. Unless the man wasn't Detective Goodman. Slam, I believe the victim in the video is Officer Marshall. It was you, dressed up like Detective Goodman.
Objection! But that's preposterous! Officer Meekins witnessed the detective at the crime scene. This is the most absurd accusation you've ever made, and I've seen you cross-examine a parrot. Once he saw the man's face, he'd know for sure.
Objection! May I point out, though, that Officer Meekins did not know Detective Goodman. He also testified about the man's reaction when confronted.
When I entered the evidence room, I asked him to show his card, sir. Oh-wee.
Yes? And how did Detective Goodman respond?
He suddenly pulled a knife on me!
Something about the officer's story puzzled me. If the man had his ID card, why didn't he just show it? Philosophical, that.
He would have needed to enter the evidence room. They must have been carrying it.
The answer is simple. He couldn't show it.
Gah?
Gah indeed. As you can see, Detective Goodman's picture is on his ID card.
Oh, I get it.
If he showed that, his cover would have been blown. Officer Meekins would have realised the man wasn't Detective Goodman. Do you have anything to say to this, Officer Marshall?
You've got quite an imagination, partner. We got a term for that. It's called circumstantial evidence.
Circumstantial evidence? He's still denying it.
You're a lawyer. You should know what that is.
You're gonna have to do better than that to break a detective. Unless you have hard evidence proving I dressed up as the victim.
I can't say I particularly care for your uncooperative disposition.
Can't say I care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining.
Oh,
Can't think me twice with
Oh.
the same thing.
the library is open!
I'm not.
Well, Mr. Wright, do you have any evidence? Any evidence proving beyond the shadow of a gratefully doubt that Officer Marshall dressed up as the victim?
Well, who am I kidding? I don't have anything like that.
I can see the fear in your eyes, partner. Seems you're the one who couldn't take the desert heat.
Ack! This can't be happening. It's so obvious he's the one. What can I do?
It looks like your lack of experience has finally been exposed after 4 slam dunk cases against me.
Ah!
I'll pass on to you what somebody told me when I was just starting out. Somebody told me that you had a girlfriend who looked like... Anyway, when you've run into a wall with no place to go, return to the basics.
That's the worst bit of advice I've ever heard. The basics. For me, that would be what Mia used to tell me. Oh, Mia.
Nick, try thinking outside the box. Use the law, Nick. Use the law.
I shouldn't look for proof that Officer Marshall was in disguise. Zoom in, but rather I should look out for evidence that came about because he was in disguise. Thanks, Mia.
You're welcome. Why do you think this locker was opened in the first place?
What do you mean?
There's no reason for Officer Marshall to open his locker at the time of the crime. Yet he did, despite the chance it might be discovered later, as it has been.
Which means he didn't originally plan to open his locker.
According to the defense's yard. Officer Jake Marshall, dressed up as Detective Goodman at the time of the crime, some kind of inter-police cosplay. Then, after the crime was committed, he opened his own locker for some unknown reason.
The fact that a white cloth is sticking out of the locker seems to indicate that he opened it in order to put the cloth inside.
So, just what exactly is this? Oh,
Perhaps the video. Perhaps the video is the key to all
not
our
the
answer
video
questions. Let's get the
Not
fucking
the
video,
video.
back
Not
to the
the fucking
VHS player.
video.
We're watching the video again.
For God's
Walking
sake.
out. What's from number
Oh, I
9
don't
has gone
have
down in my estimations.
Christ, I don't have any evidence, so this video's my only shot.
Fucking hell.
Let's watch it a seventh time.
very well. Let's take yet another look through the security tape. After committing the crime, the witness opened the locker and put away the white cloth. Please show us why the witness had to open up his locker.
Right, again, I love this score. Yeah.
It's EastEnders, isn't it?
It does sound like it, doesn't it? Take that! Slam. For some reason, you disguised yourself as Detective Goodman and entered the evidence room. I don't know what that reason was. Yet.
You're a bad lawyer.
I'm thinking as I go.
Yep.
However, something unexpected happened. Flashback. Officer Meekins barged in on you. When asked to show your ID card, you pulled a knife on him. However, Officer Meekins panicked, and the white coat you were wearing was soiled with blood.
A bloody white coat.
Bloody white coat.
There's no need for bad language.
You couldn't just walk out like that.
It's my
no.
counting courtroom.
So you hid the coat in your locker.
Not bad, huh, partner?
Well, we called him partner in a sarcastic way.
what's
That
it
means
mean?
it's business.
What's this?
Now, Officer Marshall, are you ready to tell us the truth?
Looks like I underestimated y'all. Hope you're happy now, Mr. Edgeworth.
I'm never happy. I mean,
2 years ago. If you're only half as persistent then as you are today, we all wouldn't have to be here now, would we?
Slam. Officer Marshall, tell the court what you did. All of it.
All right. Seems the time has come. I had to do it that day. I couldn't just stand by and let it die. I stole the detective's ID and dressed like him. I planned to take out the evidence. I wasn't expecting Officer Meekins, and I knocked him out. And managed to escape. I knew which areas wouldn't be caught on the camera. Wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15.
Dot. Dot. Dot.
but there's one thing I still don't understand, and I usually understand everything. Large quantities of blood traces were found on the floor of the evidence room. If no one was murdered, then how could that be?
Officer Meekins managed to cut his own hand. My guess is he's the donor.
That makes sense. We really should have tested it.
Yeah, probably a smart choice.
It looked like too much blood for that.
I had to do it that day. Couldn't just let, whoa.
Hold it. When you say it, you mean?
Do you even have to ask, partner?
Yes, I do. I'm not very smart. The SL-9 incident.
2 years have passed since that case was closed. It was very important, even though me and Phénix never mentioned it in any past cases. It was going to completely end with the transferal that day.
Not if I have anything to do with it. That incident's not over.
But what did you hope to accomplish by sneaking into the evidence room?
When a case is closed, only the detective who is in charge of it can look through the evidence. Now, I wanted to have a look at it myself one more time. No matter what the cost. I don't care what anyone says, partner. That case is mine.
But Officer Marshall wasn't in charge of that investigation. Why does he care so much about it?
That day was my last chance. That's why I stole the detective's ID and dressed like him.
Hold it. Why did you disguise yourself as Detective Goodman?
But I didn't make it look like Goodman was carrying out the evidence transferal. I'd be arrested for stealing evidence, which wouldn't get me much anywhere.
So you did it to fool the security camera. I won't make everyone watch the tape again. I want everyone to remember the tape exists. Okay.
Hey, starting to like it now.
One more time. And the detective's in the car?
I stole that the morning of the incident.
So that really was why Goodman started filing out that lost item report.
You mean filling out?
I returned
That's
his
the
ID
one.
card. Left it on the floor in the prosecutor's office parking lot.
The ID card I found was left there by Officer Marshall.
So essentially, you managed to succeed despite your lack of foresight.
What do you mean, partner?
I mean, the fingerprint-activated lock, of course. No matter how well you disguise yourself, you can't change your fingerprints. Normally, that locker shouldn't have opened.
So it opened because a rubber glove was stuck in the door by chance? Then Detective Goodman must have opened the locker before Officer Marshall.
I wasn't expecting off.
Hold it. I'm still thinking.
Can't even finish one sentence.
You pulled a knife on Officer Meekins and tried to drive him off.
Yeah, let's just say I was a little surprised. And in need of a shave. But I only plan on being in the evidence room for no more than 5 minutes. I didn't think anyone would actually come in during that short time.
Officer Meekins certainly isn't a 1 in a million type of person. Mistaking a detective for a tuner, the man is be shown his ID.
I'll have to think a little more about his raise this year.
When did Edgeworth get so much influence?
Look at me, right?
I'm looking.
Anyway, he threw himself at me and I ended up cutting him slightly. I'm sorry it had to turn out that way. With me knocking him out and everything.
By the way, what happened to your knife?
That's not a knife! Oh my
Oh.
god, I've done it 3
That's
bloody
all right, Paul.
times. I'm so
I'll
sorry.
meet you in the cafeteria, it's
All right,
fine,
I'll see
mate.
you later.
To be fair, in Texas that would be considered a spoon. Oh, you mean this one?
Oh, Christ, I don't know what to say here.
So, what's happened next?
Managed to escape. Nope.
Hold it. So you did your research beforehand?
Those who go into the desert unprepared don't live long, partner. I didn't think it would make a difference, though. Security tape is erased every 6 hours. If all had gone as planned, no footage would have been left.
However, you bloodied your coat in the struggle with Officer Meekins because he had seen at least 2 kung fu movies.
If someone was in the security room when I came out, the jig would have been up. I opened my locker and stashed it in there.
What was Officer Meekins doing during that time?
What else? He's sleeping like a baby.
So, what you saying on that day, dog?
Hold
Any
it.
murder in the evidence.
But the blood found at the scene certainly indicates a crime took place.
Are you blind? The victim shown on that tape is me, and I'm not dead yet, partner.
So you stole the evidence from the locker.
Actually, No, I didn't.
Why not?
When I opened the locker, the evidence was already gone.
What? Mr. Edward, where is that evidence?
It's still missing, Your Honor. Oh, there's
Oh my God, I can't
Christ,
believe
you
they
got
got
bored
rid of the
already.
evidence.
See, I'm
So
getting
early
sick
on.
of this.
Detective Goodman's locker was already empty. Someone else stole the evidence. Slam. Officer Marshall, may I ask you one thing?
Fire away, partner. It's a free country. Just remember, I'm also free to decide whether or not to answer.
I mean, you're under oath.
It's not entirely true, yes.
To who?
Why did you do this? Stealing a detective's head, injuring a police officer. This is no small offence.
Moreover, you're an officer yourself. This will have serious consequences. It can't just be forgiven with a simple cut in salary.
Not that salary cuts are ever a valid solution.
No, I think we should defund the police.
You know what? I think you're right too.
Let's strengthen a
Like
union.
I said, this is in your case. This one is mine. I'll do anything it takes to get an answer I'm satisfied with.
The witness has an unusual amount of zeal, and let me tell you, I'm an expert on zeal. Let's hear more.
Just can't forget the SL. Oh,
Oh, hold it. Sorry, I keep on interrupting you, mate. Do
that's
apologise.
okay. No, it's fine. Hey, you're doing a great job.
Thank you. You know what? You're the first person who said that.
Hey, well, you know, respect gotta give respect.
Thank you. You know what? I like your knife as well. Everyone's shitting on the knife, but I like that knife.
Hey, listen, it's
I'm
the best
passing
way.
my watch, and I'm the judge.
All right, sorry, Judge.
I don't care for your beard.
Oof. But that case was solved 2 years ago, wasn't it?
That's the reason the evidence was stored in the evidence room.
Joe Dark was convicted for those crimes. One thing, I don't know why, it doesn't even matter how hard you try. Keep that in mind. I designed this rhyme to explain in due time. I could say for sure he deserved his sentence.
Wickedy, wickedy, rat. I remember the Joe Dark case. No. It involved serial murders, didn't it?
I don't intend to complain about how it turned out. But there's something that still bothers me. Something went down at that trial. Something no one will talk about.
What happened?
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
What are you trying to tell me, Edgeworth? Why is he so concerned with that incident? Maybe I should present him with what I think his real reason is. I had a feeling we'd wind up here sooner or later. Everyone involved here is related in some way to that case. I'd better take another look at the files.
I had to do it that day. I just couldn't S. Officer Meekins. There was murder. Oh, SN. Back.
Let's have a look here. Objection! Officer Marshall, I think I understand. I think I know why you care so much about the SO-9 incident.
Sounds like you've been sipping too much cactus juice, partner.
Be that as it may, I have the SL-9 incident file here that I'm tapping. The name Marshall is mentioned in here? In a list of murder victims. Neil Marshall. Are you related to this man?
He's the guy who directed The Descent, isn't he? Neil Marshall, director of The Descent and Dog Soldiers?
Yeah. I'm sure you've heard the name on account of his filmography.
And also, I think he directed the Battle of Blackwater at Game of Thrones.
He did. It was an incredible piece of cinematography 2 years ago. He received the same lousy prosecutor award you got.
What? A prosecutor?
He must be talking about the King of Prosecutors Award.
Now I remember. Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He handled the SL-9 case before I did.
That's right. He was killed. And the case fell into your hands.
What's his relation to you?
Oh, I don't know. Same surname. Work it out, you idiot.
Husband and wife.
He was my brother. He was investigating the murders with Damon Gant, chief detective at the time. The group of detectives I was part of worked under them. We were desperate to prosecute the killer. Joe Dark. My brother fought Dark and I was killed. That was the first time Dark left behind any evidence. And it was all we needed. He was arraigned and incarcerated. Case was finally closed. At least, according to the public records.
What do you mean? And by the way, that's the 7th time I've said that today.
My brother couldn't have been killed by Joe Dark. I knew my brother better than anyone. No one could have beaten him in a fight.
And that's it? That's the reason for your insane actions?
There's more. There's more to my brother's death than what the records say. No matter how much you try to hide it, you can't fool me.
Well, at least one thing's for certain. Now we know what happened at the police department on the day of the crime.
That was the last day the SL-9 case could be reopened. Not satisfied with its resolution, Officer Marshall planned to steal the evidence.
Disguising himself as Detective Goodman, he entered the evidence room. Officer Meekins confronted him, so he rendered him unconscious and fled.
Yes, this mystery has finally been cleared up. No murder took place at the police department that day. The things that happened by chance never cease to amaze. At exactly the same time as the murder at the prosecutor's office, this fake murder was going on at the police department.
Chance? It's got to be more than just that.
So, right. Come on, guys. If no one was murdered at the police department on the day of the crime, that means the murder in the prosecutor's office, parking lot, was the real one.
Which, in turn, means only one person could have committed the crime. Chief Prosecutor, Lana Sky, the thing I said at the start of all this, we watched a video 1,000 times, and we're at the same place.
Objection! Let's watch that video again. I want to watch that fucking video again.
Boo!
Right, now.
Oh, no,
Okay,
God,
no,
even I can't do that.
All right, if we're not doing that, but wait, a verdict wasn't reached in yesterday's trial.
Objection. A slam, which is why we examined the incident at the police department today.
But
Keep your butts out of my face. There's only one reason the defendant was not convicted yesterday. There yet remained the mystery of the simultaneous murder at the police department.
Seems to me. His boy's got the draw on you, partner.
Pew pew, motherfucker. All the mysteries at the police department have been uncovered. No contradictions remain. The murder took place at the prosecutor's office. The only suspect is Lana Sky. There were no errors in the testimony of the witness, Angel Star. If you have a response, make it one word or less. Bow. I rest my case. Oh my god!
Oh my
the
God,
energy
God,
of
he's
the
really
ladies
handsome
is
Slammed him
today.
down big style.
But it seems to me that this trial has reached its conclusion. There's no room for doubt.
Well done, Mr. Wright. Thanks to you, I didn't need to waste my time disproving the alleged murder at the police department.
there's no doubt what I proved today is true. The apparent murder on the security camera's tape really was fake. But I didn't realise that would end up proving Lana guilty.
Now then, the time for the verdict has arrived. This court finds the defendant not.
Wait a second. Your Honor, wait.
Emma!
The defense has an objection, a scientific objection. Right? Mr. Wright.
What do you mean? Right.
Mr. Wright?
I swear to God, if this involves that video.
Play the tape.
Are you this girl's guardian? This girl who's been in this trial for the last 2 days?
Oh,
Please, Your Honor. All I'm asking is for a minute of your time. Please hear me out. Mr. Edgeworth, please.
God, just, I don't want to leave any loose ends. You want a minute? I'll give you 3.
God, Mr. Wright, he's so kind.
he is really kind.
I was kind of in shock. I mean, finding out the SL-9 incident referred to the Joe Dark killings?
Now, if that she mentions it, the names of both Sky sisters were in that file.
But that's when I figured it out. I mean, what Officer Marshall was trying to do that day. So, I knew his fingerprint had nothing to do with the crime. That left only one thing. The other handprint.
You mean the traces of blood found on Detective Gumshoe's locker?
Thank you, yes.
But no fingerprints were found on it, right?
No, but I figured if I examined it scientifically, I'd be sure to find a clue.
Makes sense.
So I ran over there and I looked at it again.
So did you find anything or something?
More spiders. No.
Huh?
Sorry. I guess I'm just not much of a scientific investigator after all.
Is that all?
Please don't be mad at me. I'm just a high school student.
And I'm just an attorney. Basically the same thing.
But Mr. Wright, those traces of blood are the only clue we have. If we can't find something wrong with them, please, Mr. Wright, you're a professional.
I feel you're backing the wrong horse here.
Edgeworth, not now. If anyone can save Lana, it's you.
Me? Oh boy.
Time's up. Now then, Mr. Wright. With regard to the at the police department, dot. Does any reasonable doubt remain?
It appears the defense is troubled by the other blood mark. Looking at the floor plans, a handprint was discovered around here. Watch me generally gesture towards the floor plan map we have. Is there a problem with this?
Mr. Wright, I'm sorry I can't be of more use. But still, if you can't find anything wrong with that blood mark, Lana will be...
Please answer my question, Mr. Wright. We don't have all day. As I said, don't persist.
Yes, Your Honour. If ever I needed to concentrate, it's now. Christ. I hate concentrating. What could be wrong with that handprint on Detective Gumshoe's locker? Could there be something I'm missing? I object! Objection! This handprint left at the crime scene clearly shows a contradiction.
Oh, Jesus Christ. The only thing that seems clear is that you're grasping, Mr. Wright.
You've been staring pretty intently at those floor plans. Tell me, is there a problem with them?
Yes, this is strange. Take a good look at these floor plans that I'm tapping here. Something is missing.
Missing? You mean something hasn't been drawn on there in crayon by Gumshoe?
You leave Gumshoe out of this, and yes, something that, when drawn, will completely change the meaning of the blood mark.
Let us pray the defense isn't simply trying to buy time, as he has done over the past 2 days. Very well, Mr. Wright.
With all this evidence here, there's got to be something I can use. Let's have a look here. Sorry, everyone, I'm just looking for my evidence bag. Take that!
Oh, wait. Oh, God, I'm still here. Wait, what about the piece of plywood?
The Blue Badger, mascot of the police force. Defender of truth, guardian of proof.
Explain yourself, Mr. Wright.
Do I really have to? I mean, please look at the floor plans of the crime scene. The Blue Badger is not here.
So
watch what happens when we put him in. This is where he was dancing at the time of the crime. Well,
Well, what?
Yeah!
That's right, Nod. So long as the blue badger is dancing here, it would be impossible to place a handprint at the spot of the locker.
What?
Oh my
Oh,
god!
Christ, that
Can you
dancing badger.
sideways?
To all
That badger
handprints.
is important.
So, that means, just exactly what does that mean?
It means it can't be done.
What do you say? Love traces were undeniably found on their locker.
Don't look at me. I didn't put it there.
Mr. Wright, think it through scientifically. I'm back up in the box next to you now.
Emma,
On that afternoon, Officer Meekins was the one who brought the blue badger to the evidence room, right? After he put it down, it would be impossible to leave a handprint on that locker.
huh? So that must mean this blood mark was left there before the blue badger was brought in?
Just one minute. I will not allow such far-fetched balderdash in my courtroom.
It may sound far-fetched, Your Honour.
And balderdashes.
It's my
And
least
Balderdash.
favourite Pokemon.
But it's the only possible explanation. On February 21st, in the police department's evidence room, blood was spilt not once, but twice.
But how?
One time was captured on this tape, taken by the security camera. I got the bloody video. Officer
not the
Meekins
video.
cut his hand from which a trivial amount of blood fell.
Thing again.
The problem is, the other time, let me say that sentence again, someone bled prior to the struggle shown on this tape. It had to have been, pause for effect, Detective Goodman, when he was really murdered.
Oh my god, this calls for dramatic synth.
Thank you, Gary.
Objection, Slam. That's ridiculous. I refute you.
Refute all you like, motherfucker. Objection. The murder portrayed in this security tape has been proven to be fake. However, that does not explain the blood mark found on the locker.
Objection. Double slam. So then, assuming this murder you purport really happened, when did it take place? I demand you show evidence that proves it occurred.
Triple slam. When did the first incident occur? Christ, when was it?
The surmise. The defense, and I'm pretty sure I don't mean surmise there. The defense claims that ... Prior to Officer Meekins being cut by Jake Marshall, who was disguised as Detective Goodman, another incident took place in that evidence.
The blood mark on the locker proves this.
Very well. Then tell us, Dumbledore. When did the first incident occur? Proof must be presented.
Proof that shows when the murder took place. There's only one piece of evidence that can show that.
Now then, will the defense please present its evidence? What shows when the first crime took place?
Let's have a look here. Take that! If the crime took place inside the evidence room, then the perpetrator would had to have entered the room. In order to do so, an ID card is required.
An ID card? The ID card record.
Officer Meekins brought the blue badger panel into the evidence room at...
4:50 p.m. If the crime took place before that time, then it would be 4:40 p.m. Ah. Miles Edgeworth? What have you done?
I never figured you had nerve, boy.
Put off the act, witness.
I am a cowboy.
No, you're not. It doesn't take a lot of thought to figure out it couldn't have been me. And I've seen your synth pop band. I know you're pretending to be a cowboy.
Hey, whoa. Nope, I ain't getting it. Synth pop still as cowboy as anything else.
I'm afraid I don't understand either.
It's clear from the luminol test that blood was there. However, when the second crime took place, both Officer Meekins and Officer Marshall failed to notice the blood.
That means the blood from the first crime was wiped away by the real murderer.
I would have just 10 minutes to murder the victim, carry his body away, and clean up the blood. Unfortunately, that's physically impossible.
That would mean the crime must have taken place before Mr. Edgeworth entered the evidence room.
Let's look at the chart again.
Not the chart. Oh, the chart's
love
the
this
new
chart.
video.
Oh, God.
There's only one other card number remaining. 77777777.
That's 7 sevens.
Talk about a lucky number.
Oh, wait. That doesn't make any sense. How could Officer Goodwin have entered the evidence room?
Since there's no record of his card being used beforehand, he must have entered along with the real murderer.
Oh.
Slam! That's the only plausible explanation. He went in with 777777.
Mr. Edgeworth, please look into this assassin. Find out whose ID number is 77777.
That's 17 too many, Your Honor. Unfortunately,
17 too many you.
I'm unable to look up the owner of that ID card. At least at present.
What?
Explain yourself, son.
Look at this piece of paper. The ID number 7777777 belongs to someone with the rank of captain or higher. Someone who is a so-called executive officer. We don't have the authority to inquire into such a person's identity.
Objection. That's bullshit. Slam, but that's ridiculous. Just how?
I'm not finished talking, Mr. Wright. There is one situation in which we can be granted such authority.
What a fight.
If an official charge filed against an executive is accepted.
An official charge?
You're all alike, aren't you? With your cover-ups and your forgeries. That's how the prosecutor's office operates.
Oh, now he's slamming the prosecutor!
Christ!
Railing against the system.
I take
Outlaw
pride
country.
in my work, Officer Marshall. I would appreciate it if you would keep your slander to yourself.
Slander, is it? Okay. Let me ask a question.
Yes, cowpoke?
Now, Dougie, Not to you. To her. Defendant sitting over there. Her own little executive.
Lana?
Objection! Don't be stupid. She's been charged with murder. Of course we've looked up her ID number, and it's not 7777777.
Yep.
Don't play me for a fool, partner. That's not what I want to ask. All I want to know is one thing about that incident.
The issue -9 incident.
Answer me this, Chief Prosecutor. In that trial 2 years ago, did you really only use legitimate evidence?
Hmm.
Do you need the witness to repeat his question, Chief Prosecutor?
I heard him fine, Mr. Edgeworth. Thanks, though.
2 years ago, I was in charge of the prosecution for that trial. At the time,
Occasionally, we felt the powerlessness of the law. At least, I did.
I was going to offer you a mini Toblerone, but I feel you're building to something.
Save it. Lana? I became prosecutor in order to suppress a crime with the law. But before I realized it, we were the ones being suppressed by the law. See how that's not ideal?
Defendant, just what are you saying?
I'll ask you again, Chief Prosecutor. During that trial 2 years ago, did you really present all the evidence in court? Did you look me, an investigator in that crime, in the eye and say that you did?
Chief Prosecutor, you didn't. Stop. No.
Oh, I don't have to, Officer Marshall.
Yeah? Why don't you answer him?
Drastic crimes require drastic measures. That's just the way it is.
That's
We
just
did-
the way it is.
We did what we had to in order to get him to get the verdict he deserved. But Lana! Even if it involved forging evidence.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
No. No!
Unbelievable.
Oh
my God,
The
she just
baritone
admitted
lady
the
in the
evidence.
witness
Order,
box, she just said she's
order,
forged
order.
stuff.
Thing.
Mental.
Lana's remarks caused such a stir, the chaos in the courtroom could not be quelled. The conclusion of the trial would have to wait until the following day. That brings us to the end of this week's edition of La Théâtre de Phénix. Sorry we ran a bit long. We had to get all the way to the end of this particular segment. Thank you so much for sticking with us. And thank you so much for all the people who joined us from other streams. It really means the world to us. This is the section where we typically move on to plugs. We have a couple of cast members missing and a couple of cast members who have to run off. But we're going to get through plugs as quickly as we can. Scott, a big round of applause for Scott, who is our Phoenix Wright, been here week in, week out. Scott has no plugs.
Nothing better to do. No plugs. Just listen and learn like the other 10. And my plugs are everyone else's plugs as well. There we are.
There we go.
But,
I'm posting everybody's social media information in the Twitch chat as we're going. But we do have a couple of incredible cast members still with us today. Tom Tuck, who legitimately is kind of above this, has lent his time to us. Thank you so much, Tom. Do you have any plugs that you'd like to make?
Well, I'm Turley God across all social media, and I have quite a few physical copies of my DVD. So just message me if you want one.
Well, there you go. Please send him a message if you want one. So Turley God, I've also posted a link to his Ko-Fi page. Please do donate when you can. Our incredible Jake Marshall really got a time to shine and actually added some legitimate drama to proceedings, which is always nice. The incredible Miles Hurley. Miles, do you have any plugs you'd like to make?
Gonna make official Hannah's usual plug of Adventures Wanted.
Yep.
Wonderful stream that does the Dungeons and Dragons. I think Undergods is going again next week, so tune in for that. Also, as per, if you have any money during this time where no one has any money, please donate to the Atlanta Mutual Aid Fund to help support Black communities and businesses in the city of Atlanta. And keep being safe and wonderful, guys.
That was lovely. All the other plugs for our currently missing cast members are in the chat. I just have some final plugs to do myself. Usually this is the part where I would plug like my Ko-Fi or other forms of donation. I would prefer it if you donated because this is the first day of July. It's the end of Pride Month. Doesn't mean you stop appreciating Pride. If you could donate to an LGBT charity, Stonewall or Mermaids is always a good shout. And I would like to plug the work of an LGBT game creator called Chloe Masheter. She has an Itch.io page. If you search Roll Flip Draw on Itch.io, that'll take you to the Itch.io page. And she has just released a brand new game called the Andromeda Ward, which is like a tabletop RPG version of Garth Marenghi's Dark Place. So well worth the price of admission if you could buy that. We'll be back next week with La Theatre de Phénix, but I also do a second weekly stream on Saturdays at 8 p.m., which is a sort of online pub quiz type thing. I might be streaming sort of around that midweek in celebration of a new Pokemon Snap being announced. I'm going to play through the original Pokemon Snap on the N64 on certain weekdays. So you can find me on Twitter at ChazRedhead for more information about that. And also, if you search Chaz Redhead on YouTube, you will find my YouTube page, which has all of the previous episodes of La Theatre de Phénix, except for this case. I need to upload all of the videos for Case 5 so that people can get caught up. I've been falling behind on that. Anyway, plugs out of the way. Thank you so much for joining us whenever you joined us. And a big shout out to a super loyal viewer, DVD Smith. You are the absolute bomb, and thank you for plugging the YouTube and all of the wonderful things you do. You are an absolute angel. So, with that in mind, I wish you a very, very pleasant rest of your week. We'll be back next week with the investigation portion. We're only 2 sessions away from finishing Game 1. It's getting exciting. So, we'll see you next week. From all of us here, cast and crew, which is just me, we wish you a very good evening. Good night, everyone.